I'll work there. Now, Louis and Keely were at the Sahara, and they were sensational. And Louis and Keely and I were friends from New Orleans, so I figured if they're working and doing so well, and my guy from New Orleans and everything, I'll go to work there. They said, no, this is a lounge. I said, my club, and if you remember, Sam, what the preview was like, I worked the lounge, it's exactly like the preview lounge. And they never had that before, never had a comedian in the lounge. And it took off, and it was very big for me, and I worked there for many, many years. And then, my contract was over. I was getting at that time, I was getting about $5,000. Now they want me at the Tropicana.
It's a week, 45,000 a week.
4,500. I said 45,000. No, not 4,500. Now they want me at the Tropicana. The Tropicana is closed. Now the Tropicana had a group of people. They had one guy from New Orleans, they had another guy from Detroit, they had another guy from Cleveland. It was a wonderful gang. They had the purple gang, the rainbow gang, the yellow gang. Two guys without a gang, Palmer gang. So now, my mother would be so proud. Did you get that last one, Mom? Good. So now they want me to come over there, and it's not open. Tropicana is closed. Now they just got money from a man called Shecky Houses. Now I want to tell you people of Las Vegas, Shecky Houses owned the El Cortez Hotel. Does anybody remember that? Okay. He was a man with no neck. He had white hair and no neck, and he talked very little. Did he talk? You know, just when you said, "How about more money?" No. So anyway, they brought me there, and they said to me, "We want you to work here." And I said to them, "Okay, how much am I going to get?" They told me. And then I said, we'll fix up this room, the blue room, I'll fix it up. And they said to me, no, we won't touch it. Mr. Houses said, I won't touch that room. I said, you mean to tell me you won't put a stage here for me, Mr. Houses? He said, no, I won't put a stage. I won't touch my building. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I said, well, then I'm leaving. I'm not going to work here. That's the end of it. And on the way out, I turned around and I said to him, maybe we can make some other deal. So they said to me, in my right hand to God, and after my mother, I talked to God. Did you notice that? But my mother came before God. There's one lady who wants to laugh, she just goes, thank God you didn't take a laxative. Oh, I'm sorry, Stephen, I mentioned your name. Oh, my asshole! The luckiest friggin' human being in God's name. Now, I gotta tell you, don't write that up, please, I beg you. Now they say to me, we're gonna give you 5 points. 5 points for the Tropicana. My God. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I'll put plywood over the stage, over the bar, and I'll work that way. There was no dressing room, nothing. I'll work that way, you know? So Mr. Houses said, okay, that's good if you put plywood over there. Not good wood, just plywood. You like a trampoline? I said, why? He says, that goes like this, you know. So anyway, I went in there, and I had 5% from this hotel, and I made it became a success. It became one of the big things on the Strip. And the lounges became rather hot and everything. That became one of the big things on the Strip. And they, I never got the 5 points, but they bought me a car. Now listen to these wonderful friggin' men. They bought me a car and they wanted me to pay the tax. Oh no, they didn't buy the car, they leased it. They leased the car after this became a success, because then they brought in the Folly Show, and the Folly Show became a big success, and you know what that went on to be. So now they wanted to give me the car, to lease the car, so I finally went to them and I said, oh, and they brought in the Mary Kay Trio at that time. Now this, I'm telling you all this stuff before Norma and I talk.
Great question. That's a great question.
You people are not leaving until 9 o'clock tonight. Everything I'm telling you right now is in a book that I'm going to write. I didn't know I was going to write it until this. But anyway, so now, my contract is over. It's been 6 years, I'm getting $6,000 a week. Mary Kay Trio. So now they're bringing the Mary Kay Trio to my right hand to God again, and my mother. And my dad, too, if he's up there. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, bet too many horses, my father. So now, I go to Mr. Housel's, and I said, Mr. Housel's, I said, you're giving the Mary Kay Trio $10,000 a week. And I'm getting $6,000, and I've been here 6 years, and I really made this place. He says to me, there's 3 of them, and there's only 1 of you. As Mr. Housel's, there's now only 3 of them. I am leaving. And I left, and I went back to the Riviera. They gave me $8,500, and they gave me 2 points. Now, I got 2 points from the Riviera until they sold it. Then I got another leased car. You think I'm joking? I never got the 2 points. This God is my judge. Never got the 2 points. But that was the success of Shecky Greene, was the lounge. You know? And when I went back into the main rooms, I hated it because I had to do an act. And I wasn't one to do ABCs, you know, that kind of an act. Like sing a song, tell a joke, sing a song. So that was really my career.
And in the mid-50s, this kid named Elvis came along.
Then in 1956, 1956, I'm headlining at the New Frontier Hotel. So they tell me Elvis Presley's going to work there. And I don't know who Elvis Presley is, you know. I heard the song, Blue Suede Shoes and that stuff. So, anyway, as I'm driving into town, the first time I drove into Las Vegas, let me tell you this. I picked up a newspaper, the Review Journal, and they had a headline that said, gas station robbed of $12. That was the headline. And Norman Kay wanted to sell me property at that time. I said, this will be a ghost town. Look at all the ghosts that live here now. So now they're bringing in Presley, and they got a big cutout of Presley outside.
70 foot high.
75 foot high, yes. I added 5 feet more than you, just so we can work together. I'm looking at Sammy and Marty. Are you studying me, Marty, or what? Do you like any of this shit I'm doing? I'm going to ask you something. How many times, you never saw me work, I don't think, in all the years we were friends. Did you?
Every night.
That was you. They kept telling me Marty's here, and I forgot. So now, I drive in, and Marty, what's his name? Freddie Martin Band. We got Freddie Martin, Elvis Presley, and me, you know? So now, they said, let Elvis close the first show. I said, okay. So Elvis walked out. He had a baseball jacket on. That's the way he walked out. The scrim came down behind him. He had 4 guys behind him. And he was playing, and he was doing Blue Suede Shoes. That was it. I mean, in the lounge, we had the greatest acts in the world, and Presley came out doing this kind of an act. So we walked back, and I said to Colonel Parker, he can't work that way. I said, it's impossible for him to walk out with a baseball jacket and sing these songs and everything else. Nothing's going to happen with this kid. And well, you're laughing, but listen to what I tell you. You may not like what I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell it anyway so I can complete this thought. Am I going crazy or whatever? Why am I talking this much? You know, I may be doing, but you were supposed to interview me, for God's sake. Could we find another place? So now, he works in the audience. You know, it's mostly Eastern people in those days. And the audience don't know what the hell he's doing. They don't know from Blue Suede Shoes. They don't know, the other songs. So I said to Parker, you know, I said, Tom, he can't work this way. So he says, well, you know, he's very big. I said, but not here. Because he didn't mean anything, you know. He goes out and he gets high school and college kids who are, the university was just getting started. And he brings them in the afternoon and it's jammed. They're lined around 2 blocks. That's the audience that he had. They brought him in at the wrong time. I said to Tom Parker, he can't dress this way. He's got to dress better than this. Let's take him to Liberace. I took him to Liberace, listen to this, and Liberace told him about how to dress and everything. And that's the way Presley started wearing all these clothes, was because of Liberace. And Tommy Brown. Now I'm signed by MGM, and I'm doing a show at the MGM lot, and upstairs is Elvis Presley. And Elvis Presley he's on the MGM lot, and I was on the MGM lot, and I would go to his dressing room all the time. And all the time that I was with him for 4 weeks here, I was with him for 6 weeks at MGM and everything. I only took one picture with Elvis Presley. A picture with Elvis Presley is worth $500 to $1,000. I took a picture that was that big. I've got it in my wallet now, I'll pass it around. But when you look at it, you gotta look at it like, you know, that looks like Tom Parker. And that was the thing with Elvis Presley. And then he went on. And let me tell you something, the nicest kid, 2 guys that I worked with in show business, Tom Jones and Elvis Presley were the best. They were the best.
I'll take it from here.
I hope.
Shecky, talk about your close friend Buddy Hackett.
Well, Buddy Hackett's one of the great people in the world. Buddy Hackett, thank God Buddy Hackett didn't talk out of both sides of the mouth, because he'd be murdered then. But Buddy Hackett and I were very good friends, and Buddy Hackett liked to drink a lot of it. So one day, Buddy Hackett, I was at the place called, it's Freddie's Place, you know, Piro's. But at that time, it was Villa d'Este. It was about 2:30 in the morning, and I was there, and Buddy Hackett called. And he said, hi, is my friend Shecky Greene there? And they said no. So then he called back again, and then they said no. So I kept on saying, tell him no. Because, you know, that time in the morning with Buddy Hackett is not fun. Forgive me, bud. Oh, yeah, say hello to my mother. So anyway, he comes in to the Villa d'Este, and he's got a pullover jersey, you know. He's got his supporter on, you can see it. This is outside, he's walking around like this. Am I right, Martin? He walked over, he comes in with, and he's got a portfolio under his arm. He said, I thought, Buddy, you told me you weren't here, and you are here, and you lied to me. I said, I didn't lie to you, buddy, I just came in here. He said, how many drinks did Mr. Greene have? So the bartender said, he had 2. He said, okay, give me 6. I want to start off the same. So he had 6 tequilas. Then he said 6 more, and he said, and I really hate tequila, but I love the salt. I just made that up. That's good. Hey, honey, write that down. So now he says to me, well, you did a terrible thing to Fred Thompson. Now, Fred Thompson was a black guy that was like a valet, and for me, he was my gardener. I lived at the Sahara Golf Course at that time. But when he would garden my lawn, he would use the lawnmower and hit the wire, and the wire would curl up all the time. So every time Fred did the lawn, I had to buy a new fence. This really happened to me. So anyway, so now he says to me, Fred Thompson needs new teeth. And you fired him, and you should get his teeth. So I said, how much is his teeth going to cost? He's about $700. Oh, wait. Yeah, I didn't know, put the one in the back. About $7,500.
You had to look in the back to find the other one. So now I said, buddy, I don't have any money on it. He said, well, what are we going to do? I said, you got any money in that portfolio? He said, yes. We went across the street to the landmark. Now, I'm about half loaded, and he's about 3/4. When they saw Shecky Greene and Buddy Hackett drunk, Buddy Hackett not so bad, but me immediately, it was an automatic call, you know? Hello, 912. They were so nervous they forgot 911. So, hello, 912. You know. So now I said to Buddy, give me some money. So he gives me money and I put down and everything. Boom, they wipe it off and I give me some more money. But I don't know, it's not them wiping the money. Buddy is taking the money and putting it in the portfolio. So now he's, well, we might as well go home now because there's no more money left. We're walking across the street, Convention Center Road, and he says to me, you're a Waldo. I said, beg your pardon? Now I got a guy by the name of George that I hired to watch me when I get drunk and I shouldn't get in trouble. But George was drunk before I was, or Buddy was. So I hired another guy for George. No, I added that. Now, so now, I gotta tell you, now, I says, I'm a what? He said, you're a Waldo. He said, not only that, he said, you're a double Waldo. Well, I didn't like to be one Waldo, but to be two Waldos. So then I says to him, you should say that again and I'll split your head open. He comes and he jumps on me, Buddy Hackett. Buddy Hackett thought he was a Japanese wrestler, sumo wrestler. Let's go for lox and bagel. Now, he jumps on me and I throw him over and I put my foot on him. I said, buddy, you get up, I'm going to kill you. And George, my guy's going, he says, that's right here. He's telling that to Buddy about me. So now Buddy says to me, he said, well, when I get my gun, and I had a gun in the portfolio, and I had said to him, get rid of the gun. Now, I take the gun out, and I throw the gun into the desert, and his car keys into the desert. And I said, don't get up. He's laying in the middle of the street, Convention Center Road. I go home, it's 7:30 in the morning, it's only about an hour since I left him. The phone rings. Hey, Shep, sober as a judge. He said, there's a Buddy. Boy, if somebody was with us this morning, they would think we didn't like each other. When are we going to lunch? And that's just one thing that he would do that every time. That's the kind of personality. I thought that would go over so big. A lot of people didn't like him. I miss you, buddy. I really do miss you. I miss so many. The greats that we had. Jan Murray is gone. Marette Buttons is gone. My God, it's just. Well, I guess at 90 years old, I'm one of the last. Sammy's one of the last. Don Rickles, God bless him, who's still working, can't walk. Oh, you're only 89. Oh,
Marty just.
Here, I'm going to say this until you're 90. I'll give you this. But Don Rickles, God bless him. This is the way he works. He walks like this right now. Like he does the Hunchback of Notre Dame. My name is Don Rickles, you know. Are you a Jew? Are you a Jap? Are you a Jew? What kind of an act is that? He doesn't even sing. He should write a song called He's a Jew, He's a Jap. He's a Jew, He's a Jap. All the people in the audience clapped. It's plain to see that they don't recognize. Okay, that's fine. Anyway,
1966, Caesars opens, and did you hang around there for a while?
No, I never hung around there at the Caesars Palace. It was just not. It was not my cup of tea. Matter of fact, you know what? I had a reputation of going out at night. When I finished work, that was it. I'd go to the Coppa Lounge. I'd have some wonderful Italian food made by a Lebanese. That's something about it. My life is now 90 years old. Look at this. You go into a Chinese restaurant today, it's a black guy cooking. You go into a delicatessen, right? You order kishki, and the guy said, I want to tell you, I make the greatest kishki ever. God damn, man, I make a kishki. But the whole world has changed so, you know. But I never really traveled around when I was working here. And although at that time I loved the town because it was small, you know. And everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody. The cop knew my first name. And, but he used to call me by my number, 4763.
Right?
Oh, you're talking about Caesar's Palace. What? Now, let me tell you. I drank, which I haven't had in over 40 years. I haven't had a drink. And I miss it. But, see, Jews drink before anybody else. When we're 8 days old, they give us a little wine. And then they perform the ceremony. But I stopped drinking wine because I thought every time you take wine, they're going to do that again. So now, Caesar's Palace, I got very drunk. Now, what's funny, and what's really not funny, they would give you the card. Nobody ever taught these guys, the parking attendants, when people are drunk, you don't give them the card. But they used to give us, you know, what did you call those things that they test with a... What do I call it?
Breathalyzer.
Breathalyzer. They would see how drunk you were, and if you went beyond the red, they'd give you your car. They gave me my car, which they did many, many nights, and I drove down the strip. Now, it's impossible what I did could ever happen again. Because you can't get out of a parking lot today, and now they're even charging valet, which I can't believe that. People gambling thousands and thousands and thousands, and they got to pay valet. That's unbelievable. And they got to put that in the paper, that the people applauded today. I wouldn't mind if they charge $1, but they charge $4 or $5 for valet. My God. And
$10 $10 park.
$10 to park? I'll leave my goddamn car there. I won't take it. So they gave me the car, and I said a word that I promised my wife I would not use. Maria, I'm sorry I used that word, Maria. I said that word, GD. Please don't be mad at me. Marie, I love you. Maria, I love you. And suddenly I found... Okay, that's it. That's enough of that. Now, that's what I always wanted to be. I wanted to be in a Broadway show. Remember, we're talking about Caesar's Palace. You know what this reminded me? I used to do that with Herbie, was my piano player for 40 years, Herbie Dell. Anybody remember Herbie Dell? Yeah. Herbie Dell was 60% of Shecky Greene's act, because whatever I did, picked up, he would play it, and he would get the thing. So without Herbie Dell, that's how I got out of show business. I said, no more Herbie Dell. And it just, unbelievable man, and I wish I would have paid him more, and if he comes back, you are coming back? So now, I wanted to do a Broadway show until they asked me to do a Broadway show. I'm in New York, I'm working the Copacabana for probably the worst human being that God ever put on this earth. A guy called Julie Podell. And Julie Podell, when he didn't like a joke or didn't like it, had a big ring, and he would hit the table, you know, to tell you he didn't like that. When I worked there, it sounded like he had 3,000 bells. That's all he did was hit the table. So now, I got a call from an agent. And the agent in New York was the Red Buttons agent. And I'll never forget that, because that's how you introduce him. I'm a Red Buttons agent. You know. I think Red Buttons could have gotten me a job before the agent. Because the agent was one of those guys with the tie, with the food all over the tie. He said, you want some soup? Get me a bowl. So now, he calls me and he says to me, would you like to do a Broadway show? And I said, really. And I said, what show? He said, I can't tell you. I said, oh. I said, well, how much does it pay? He said, $350. That's what a Broadway show paid in those days. I said, well, I owe the government $47,000. And I can't afford to leave and not pay the government and only make $350 in New York. And I said, and now living in New York is going to cost a lot of money. So then I said, well, how did you come? He said, do you sing? I said, yeah, a little bit. I sing a little bit. I said, why? He said, well, I can't tell you. He said, I'll tell you. Frank Lesser was at the Copa the other day, and he saw you. And Frank Lesser would like you to audition for this play, you know? So I said, who's Frank Lesser? Like a schmuck. I saw Guys in Dolls 3,000 times, and I didn't know who Frank Lesser was. Most happy fella. That's the thing he was going to do, most happy fella. So I said to him, what are they doing? And he said, the Saint something. What, anybody remember? St. James Theater. Who said that? God bless you. Would you like to put your name on this? So now I go down to St. James Theater, but I'm not going to audition. I'm in the back, and I see that little guy like you see in the movies. The guy is by the one light, and the guy's the piano player's on the stage, and the guy there singing. Okay, next. Sir, what do you do? I sing. Okay, sing. Next, we'll call you, sir, but not in this life. Get the, So now I'm listening, and I finally find out the show is Most Happy Fella. So I go and I do the thing and I sing. And they said, you may have the part. I go, my God, I'm being a play and I don't want to be in the play. How could I get something and I don't want to do it? It's the first time in my life that ever happened. My God. So now I leave there, and that same week, I'm signed by NBC. Pat, the president of NBC, Pat Weaver, wanted to hire all the comics he could possibly find. It was a great idea because it's on now, television, with all the comedy and everything else that they have now. So Pat Weaver, they signed me to NBC, and I cannot tell you how bad I was at the Copacabana. I worked with Nat King Cole, God bless him. And Nat King Cole brought me from Chicago, and opening night, I was on exactly 30 seconds. They turned the lights off on me, and I heard this. So now I don't want to leave the stage. I mean, this has never happened to me before, so I don't want to leave the stage. And Nat King Cole comes down in the dark, and he's coming down the stairs, and the drummer's going, and he said, the breeze and I will say with a sigh that you no longer care. Now he's doing that, and I'm going, did you see what the hell they did to me? Did you see they turned the lights off on me, and they want me off the goddamn stage? Oh, God, Maria! Boy, I feel good now. I don't want to leave. Do you know what it is to be a performer and you haven't seen an audience? I haven't seen a good audience in the last 5 years, and this is unbelievable. I really... I said to Nat, Nat, did you see what they did to me? Now he pushes me aside, and he starts again, the breeze, and I, the drummer's going, I said, you're not getting on the stage until you tell me what the hell to do. I said, they kicked me off the stage. He said, the breeze. Finally, his manager came out, who was about 600 pounds, picked me up and threw me out. Now I go back to my dressing room, and 50 telegrams were torn up by this Jules Podell. I didn't even see him then, and he tore up these things. Now, I started to tell a story, and this is what I used to do in my act. I would get lost. I remember where I'm driving down the strip at the computer store at Caesar's Palace. Now, I'm driving down the strip, and all of a sudden, I'm drunk, and I black out, and I hit a post. And they had just put